And we start by singing, here's a story of a lovely lady. No, I'm just joking. There it is. I'm like hitting the wrong button. There we are. All right. Well, welcome to our first week of 6 Weeks to Success, guys. Me and Megan are super excited that you guys decided to join us. And in total, we're going to end up with almost 25 people participating in this. Some of you may be joining us live, as you guys are, and some of you guys might be watching us on a replay, which if you're on replay, we'll miss you because you're not here. We really wish next week you would be here with us, but we totally understand that life happens. This program, for those of you guys that participated in Director Bound, is going to be a little bit different than what our Director Bound program was going to be. It's going to be structured a little bit less. What's the word we're looking for, Megan? Less stressful?
Maybe a little bit less intense.
A little less intense. I mean, me and Megan together can be pretty intense. And those of you guys that are on my team know that. And I'm sure Megan's people know that too. But it's a little bit of tough love sometimes because we want to see you guys have nothing but success in your businesses. So tonight we're going to kick things off a little differently than we did last time with Director Bound because we want to get to know you guys a little bit. So what should we ask them, Megan? What do you think? What would be fun?
I don't know. Let's see. Something totally random and off the wall, like some weird quirk.
Never have I ever.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay.
Never have I ever. We have to keep it PG, guys, okay? So I'll start. Never have I ever. I have no idea. Somebody else start. Somebody else. Go ahead. Somebody else take it away.
I have never, ever had a tattoo.
Woo! Now, is that
I have really never, ever eaten chicken and dumpling soup.
What?
And I'm from southern Missouri.
I know. That's why I'm so surprised right now. Oh, my gosh. Let's see who else. Jackie, I know you got to have something good. Nothing? You got nothing?
We're a big group of done everything people, like
apparently. Never have I ever jumped out of an airplane. How about that?
Oh, there's a good one. There is a good one.
And nor would I ever.
Never have I ever taken a hot air balloon ride, and I will not.
Ooh, see, I think I would have fun with that. I could have fun with that.
I'm not enclosed.
Miss Trisha. Trisha just joined us today, and she joined this program. We're so excited.
Rock on.
I was just going to say,
go.
I've never, ever been a Pampered Chef consultant.
Woo!
Until today.
And she is now. So she could say, never have I ever attended a training. There you go. And now you have.
Exactly. There you go.
Compare that one.
Yep.
How about you, Miss Angie, sitting over there all quiet?
Oh, let's see. Never have I ever bungee jumped.
Ooh. Anybody else ever bungee jumped before?
I would love to.
Oh, would you? Oh,
yeah.
Really? I don't think I could do it.
I can't. No.
I love that kind of stuff.
Nope.
All right. Anyone else want to share?
I'm going to say never have I ever been parasailing. I would consider it, possibly.
You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that we're not a very adventurous group.
Or maybe a lot of us
before.
Don't like heights.
Anybody afraid of heights? Is that why we're all chickens?
Now, I've done parasailing before.
Have you?
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Yep.
Interesting.
I'm honestly more afraid of whatever is in the ocean than I am of the heights, I think, quite honestly. Yeah. Sharks. No, thank you.
Sarah, are you still awake?
What?
Are you still
I'm more scared of like the thought of it, like what could go wrong, you know? Like I'm a rail. Okay, those are my thoughts. Like, I would love to go parasailing. I haven't done it yet.
Or that water jet thing.
But you
That
better
looks
push
pretty
me.
cool too.
What's that?
That water jet thing. I don't know, that it like sprays water and you shoot up in the air like a rocket. I don't know. I haven't done that either. Never have I ever done that, whatever that's called.
I'll tell you the first thing that comes to mind. I'll give you guys a laugh, and then we're gonna roll right forward after it. Is a big fat wedgie. That's all I can. And now that you're all laughing, let's get serious for a minute. What do you guys think? Now that we've broken the ice,
Right.
and we've had a little bit of fun, it's time to get serious. So we are, like I said in the beginning, really excited to work with you guys. We have probably every tenure of Pampered Chef that you can imagine, from people that have been with us for a couple of years, to people that have been with us a month, to people that have only been with us literally not even 5 hours. So, which goes to show you that, this business really does kind of represent a large portion of different kinds of personalities, as you guys could just tell, different kinds of lifestyles, different kinds of, goals, really. So, that's kind of why we decided that this program, we were going to kind of take it back a notch with it. We're still going to provide you guys amazing training, hopefully, fingers crossed that nobody falls asleep. But, just on a less serious stress level than what our Director Bound program was. So we're going to talk tonight about bookings. How many of you guys participated in our booking challenge last night? A couple of you guys. So I think we got, a handful of bookings to start off with. So I don't know, Megan, I'm really thinking maybe we should extend that booking challenge so they have a little bit more time.
I'm thinking so too.
To book some shows, because I'm telling you guys, if you guys use the words that I posted last night, they will work. I promise you they will work. Okay. Those of you guys know me know that I'm pretty good with my words. Sometimes I'm not so good with my words, but that's mostly to my husband. Yeah, I know. Resident comedian right here. So I think we should maybe extend the booking blitz to Sunday night. What do you guys think? Everybody game for that? Let's extend it through Sunday night. Gives you guys some more time to, really focus on using those words to get bookings on your calendar. The same rules will apply. So you get 3 tickets for any March bookings and 1 ticket for April bookings. And then when you post screenshots, does everybody know how to screenshot? Okay, so if you send a message to someone and they reply back to you with an objection, we want you to pump the brakes on your car, okay? Stop the bus, pump the brakes. And before you respond back to them, take a screenshot, okay? Post that screenshot on that thread where we have the Booking Blitz Challenge so that we can keep it all together, so that not only are we helping to give you guys words, but then we're also teaching other people how we would respond as a leader to those people. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So for every screenshot that you post, you guys will get a ticket. So I'm thinking we can, I don't know, maybe, Megan, we have to decide how many giveaways we want to do. Because guess what? With being a director, one of the amazing perks with that is that we get all the spring products for free. And so my room is stuffed with products back there. And I'm thinking I want to give some away. So, sounds like a plan, Stan.
It does.
You can just put Chastity's name on most of them. It's okay. I'll win. It's okay.
I like confidence. Confidence is amazing. That's an amazing quality, girl. All right. So how many of you guys do virtual parties? Raise your hands. How many of you guys do cooking shows? All right. So we have a good mix of both kind of parties. So guess what? Your bookings training is going to be on both kinds of shows tonight, because we have all kinds of consultants in Pampered Chef, and we want to make sure that you guys are getting training on both levels. So Megan, do you want to start with your virtual training?
I sure can. So basically, when Becky and I were talking about what we wanted to cover tonight, we really thought that we needed to start out with bookings again for those of you who were in our Director Bound, that we covered bookings pretty thoroughly during that. So for some of you who were in Director Bound, this is going to be a little bit of a refresher, okay? But we really felt that it was important that you understand how important it is to have bookings on your calendar during a program like this, because you're not going to be able to apply any of the principles that we're teaching you unless you have the parties to apply them in, right? So we really thought that it was important that we rehash all of this booking material so that you guys have a chance to really utilize that and get bookings coming up for your next 6 weeks. All right, so who's in? Who's ready to make the next 6 weeks count? Okay, so first of all, we wanted to make sure that you're maximizing the parties that you currently have that you're wrapping up for February. So who has maybe some virtual parties or a cooking show yet that they're going to be running or holding before the end of February? Okay, all right, so for virtual parties, we want to talk about how to make sure that we get bookings from those virtual parties. So for instance, you know, what is your interaction like in your virtual parties? Are you posting things that are gaining comments? Okay, what sorts of things can you be posting? What sorts of wording can you be putting in your virtual party posts so that you get guests commenting on them? And it's not just, hey, look at this recipe for chicken pot pie chowder. Because does that make you want to comment? I mean, somebody might just say, oh, yum. But I mean, aside from that, that's not super helpful, right? So don't be shy. What types of things can you do to make sure that you're getting interaction?
I like to try to end most of my posts with a question.
Boom.
So
perfect. Yeah.
how many, like one today was, how many of you have a hard time cutting your potatoes evenly?
Very good. And so what product were you leading into with that, or products were you leading into with that question, Chess?
The Simple Slicer.
Absolutely. Asking somebody about a challenge or a problem that they're having, because guess what? No matter what kind of cook you are, if you love to bake, if you love to cook, if you hate to bake, if you hate to cook, there is something that happens in your kitchen that is a stress point for you, right? So if you are able to somehow pinpoint what that is for people, whether that's at a cooking show live, or whether that's in a live demo in a virtual party, or whether that's in a post that you've typed up, if you can get somebody to say, oh my gosh, this is the biggest headache that I have in my kitchen, how can you help me solve it? Right there, that is like light bulbs, fireworks going off. That's exactly what you want to get to, so that you know what people's challenge is and you can help them solve that. Okay? So what else have you got? What other ways can you make sure that you've got chatty people in a party that are ready to interact?
Who can list all the ingredients before you post the actual recipe?
Oh, I like that. Is that something that you currently do, Renee?
I was going to, yeah.
Okay. So for instance, I mean, just spitballing here, but what kind of a recipe would you share? Would you just show them a picture and tell them what it's called and say, what do you think would go into this, or what would you do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Post the picture on the Pampered Chef, and then I'll do a close-up,
Mm-hmm.
and then have whoever can get the most ingredients right. I'm going to give them toaster tongs.
Cool. I really like that. Really good idea. Anybody else have any suggestions for how to really get people excited and chatty?
We in our group offer like incentive-based, like we encourage people to participate based off of an incentive or a point system. So like if you, for every comment you get points, and if you engage in certain posts you get extra points. And so it kind of, the people that have been paying attention are more likely to comment in order to earn points towards a big giveaway or whatever.
Yep. So you dangle a carrot, right? Like, hey, guess what? Come get this. Give me a comment and I'll enter you in such and such. Yes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, whatever you can do to get people interested in what you have to say, right? They might just be playing along to begin with. They might just, you know, be commenting, oh yes, this looks really good, and not really mean it for a while, but they're still checking into the party. And so eventually you might just post something that they actually are interested in, correct? Right. Okay, good
So
deal.
something I like to do, I love
Okay.
to do polls with people.
Uh-huh.
I love to do polls. I love to say, or do on a scale of 1 to 10, because everybody's going to have a different experience with something. And so you're going to get a variety of opinions, but from the 1 to the 10 scale, or just like a poll, everybody's going to have a variety of opinions. And so when you start chatting about it down below, that opens up tons of conversations, not necessarily just a one-sided conversation.
For sure. I love that. So you guys, why do you think we're asking about how you're going to get interaction and people chatting in your virtual parties? Why do you think that matters?
I mean, if somebody's not engaged in the party, they're not going to want to book. I mean, if they're not enjoying themselves and coming back, they're not getting to experience like the fun of the virtual party. So they're
Exactly.
less likely to book.
Exactly. If they're not interacting and chatting, they're probably not having a good experience. If they're not having a good experience, then it's not something that they're going to care to repeat, right? They're not going to be interested in hosting. So what's something else that you gain by having that guest comment or interact in your party?
Start building a relationship.
For sure. What do you find out about them, Candace?
You find out just a little bit about them, if they're working, if they stay at home, what types of meals they like to cook, maybe struggles that they have in their kitchen.
Exactly. And how does that help you when you go to suggest products to help them in their kitchens?
Well, of course, suggesting products, but then if they can't afford it or whatever, then that leads into them hosting a party.
For sure. When you're able to pinpoint exactly the product that's going to help that particular guest, then you're going to be able to create that desire, to build the desire for that product for them, so that they either decide to order it, they decide to become a consultant and earn it for free, or they decide to host a party with you and earn it for free, right? Those are the scenarios that opens up. When you create the desire for a certain product for them, that means that you are, you're providing a solution. Like, hey, this Rockcrock Dutch oven is going to solve so many problems for you. It is so versatile. It can cook virtually anywhere. It's dishwasher safe, right? I mean, those are all things that can solve pretty much anybody's pain point in the kitchen when it comes to cooking, right? So when you're able to solve that for them, they're going to be much more likely to book a party. So how do you then, let's say that you have figured out what product is great for all of the guests in your party, and they have all ordered something from you. How do you follow up with them and make sure that they book a party with you?
I tend, when I'm being really good, I follow up with like a recipe that matches the product that they bought. So like, for instance, I had somebody buy a popcorn maker around Halloween. So like I sent them the Halloween popcorn, like with the cool chocolate and all of that, and just say
Monster Munch.
Recipe.
I think they called it, yes.
And so I just said, I hope that you're enjoying this and you haven't had any problems. Here's a recipe to try with your new product. Like I reminded them of like the return. And then I said, like, are you interested in like having your own party? And so it's showing that you care. It's not just about that booking. It's making sure that like everything is okay. And but then you're also showing that like you're trustworthy and you're building that relationship then. So that maybe not right now, but then when they think, oh, I could use this, then you're the person that pops up into their head.
Right. You're showing them that it wasn't just a transaction. They're not just buying one product from you and boom, you're done. You're showing them that you actually care what their experience is like with that product, if you can help them any further with its use or its care. And then you're able to offer other opportunities for you to assist them, either with, the business or with a booking. Exactly. So to sum all of that up, that whole process, what is that called?
Customer service.
Customer service, yes. But the process of kind of checking out with your guest, what is that called?
Full service checkout.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here, and those of you who were in Director Bound have seen this before.
Y'all, you have to pay attention because this is the game changer. I started doing it. I'm not going to lie. I started doing it after I listened to her training when we did Director Bound, and it totally was a game changer.
Sorry. Okay, so I will share this in our 6 Weeks to Success group as well. Okay, but this is kind of just a map that I made up that walks you through the entire process. So you can see that the very top here has a box that says, hi, thanks so much for attending. Okay, if they ordered, then you substitute that with ordering during. Susie Q's Pampered Chef Party, you were such a fun guest. I also wanted to make sure you were able to get all of the items from your wish list and see if you had any questions about the products you ordered. Now, say they ordered that popcorn maker, you would substitute that for products you ordered. If you had any questions about the popcorn maker or needed any recipes to get you started. Okay, you're going to customize that. But this is basically a generic blueprint for you to get started, okay? And you guys, it walks you all the way through it. So say they don't respond, because guess what? That's going to happen, okay? You're gonna send a follow-up message a couple days later just to ask, hey, wanted to make sure you got my message the other day. Thanks again for attending Susie Q's party. Okay. Otherwise, if they say no thanks, I'm good, it walks you through that side of the blueprint. Okay. Who thinks that this might help a little bit? Take a little bit of the guesswork out. And I promise you guys it works. Now, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here. This is obviously not all encompassing. There's going to be situations that arise in that the response that I have in there is not quite right. But for most of the situations that come up, this is going to show you a way to answer questions and prompt you with what you should ask next. Okay? And the key here is we want you guys to make sure that you are maximizing every opportunity that's put in front of you. So with every guest who attended and participated, even if they didn't place an order, you know, that scenario is covered in there too. You still want to thank them for joining the party, for participating, for spending some time with you, and ask them if there was anything that stuck out to them that they enjoyed or intrigued them, right? And then to also follow through with everybody who did place an order. Okay? Any questions on that?
I'll just say it's a game changer, y'all. I'm serious. The first time I did it, I got 5 bookings from people that did not order. They did not order, okay? These were all people I messaged that did not order. You guys heard that, right? Did not order. But because I took the time out to message them, start a conversation with them, and thank them for participating in the party, that's all it took. That was all it took.
All right, so like I said, we'll be sharing that on the 6 Weeks to Success page, so you guys can save that to whatever device you'd like to, so that it's there for reference. It does print clearly too if you're more of a paper person and you want to have that printed for reference, but it really does. It really will help you. And then, you know, as you start to get so that it's a system that you can rely on, you're probably not going to need to refer to the graphic. You're probably going to have wording that flows a little bit more freely for you. But the idea is that you start somewhere, you get that as a habit, you build that as a habit, and then you tweak it and go as you perfect it for yourself, okay?
So my question is, this might be a dumb question. So do you just, I was gonna ask you this, Megan, earlier too, do you guys just message people that are involved or everybody that clicked going on the party? Like, because I know in some other trainings, like people message every single person. If they didn't interact, you know, they may have clicked going, but they didn't interact in the party. Well, you know what I mean? I'm going, hey, to strike up that conversation with them.
I'll answer that, and then we'll let Becky answer what she thinks too, if it's different from what I say. But my personal opinion, and this is in my host coaching, but I personally use events for my virtual parties. And my host coaching states invite anywhere between 40 and 75 total guests. The idea is from that 40 to 75, we will host coach to get to approximately 20 or more who click going, okay? So in that respect, say they invite 43 people and you get 24 who click going. I would personally, if not all 24 of those people place an order, and say you have 13 who didn't order, I would definitely be following up with those 13. And then if I'm really anxious and wanting those bookings, I would definitely go after the difference to make up whatever the 43 was. Math is not my strong suit. Okay, so now I will say that if you are somebody who is not host coaching to have your host invite between 40 and 75, and you've got like 300 people invited to that party, no, I'm not messaging all of those people, even if they've clicked going.
So I'm going to take it to a different side because I use groups. So
Okay.
she uses events and I use groups. And this is what I love, guys. When you listen to different trainings by different leaders, we all have a different method. And regardless, you know, you're going to hear, oh, groups work better, events work better. Guess what? When you host coach, they both work better. Okay. Because it's always going to start with host coaching no matter what. I personally use groups, and what I love is that with the new feature that they've added, so when people are added to the group, they actually have to accept the invitation, which means that they want to be in the group now versus just being dumped in a group, okay, like it used to be. And so my feeling is that with kind of like events where they've chosen to click going on the event, they've now clicked going on a group, okay, and so they want to be there. And so everybody that orders, I definitely send a message to thank them. I send that recipe to do the follow-up and then ask for the booking if that's not been a conversation already. But then everybody that's not ordered, I send the message out to everybody that's not ordered. Now, both ways, I want to caution you guys to take your time with it, okay? So don't just get all gung-ho and like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to send out 500 messages at one time, because guess what's going to happen?
Mark Zuckerberg's going to shut you down.
You're going to get shut down, sisters and brothers. You are going to get shut down. So take your time with it, okay? Let it be a process. Let it filter through your minds when you do it. I recommend, you know, do like 10, you know, wait a little while. Do another 10, wait a little while. Don't do 100 all at one time and expect that you're not going to get this little red flag that says, you know, slow down.
Going too fast.
You're going too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust us, we've done it before. So we kind of have some experience with that a little bit. So yeah, I recommend that you do that, because guess what? The worst thing that's going to happen is what, you guys? What's the worst case scenario? What's the word you're going to hear?
They say no.
Right.
They're not going to respond.
Right. But if they don't respond, I don't want you guys to see that as a negative. Okay. How many of you guys are attached to Facebook all day long, 24 hours a day? Anybody? Nobody, right?
Pretty close.
Are, I mean, 23 hours a day for me, you know, I got to sleep for an hour at least. But seriously, not everybody's attached to Facebook every single day, every hour, every minute of the day. Okay. People work, people have lives, people have kids doing crazy activities. People check Facebook every couple doesn't look at. Okay, us all know that they know. We know that they've seen it. And then we're like, oh gosh, man, Megan, she like read my message and then she didn't respond back to me. Okay, so let me ask you guys a personal question. How many of you guys have read a message and then your 42 kids went crazy all at one time and then you forgot to go back to that person and message them? Oh, wait a minute, but we expect our customers to not have the same experiences? No, no, my friends, no, no.
Amen.
Let's be real, okay? Because we all have real lives, right? We live in this fantasy world that every party is going to yield 20,000 bookings and we're never going to have to ask somebody for a booking. Guys, that's a fantasy world, okay? This is the real world. I would love to live in the fantasy world some days. It would be a lot more fun and I wouldn't have to work so hard and I wouldn't have a bald spot over here. But that's not the case. We have to give some grace to our customers and future customers, okay? That they have lives and they're going to have the same experiences that we have. And so if they haven't messaged you back, guess what? It's okay to reach back out to them. a couple days later, you know, and say, hey, did you see my message the other day? And I guarantee you the response is going to be, oh my God, you know, my kids were like, you know, driving down the street on the moped and they fell over and whatever, something happened. I promise you something happened. The worst case that they're going to say is no. But guess what? If you don't ask, you're already telling yourself, well, you're responding for them. You're choosing no for them when you don't ask. Okay? Bam, Megan. Bam.
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 All right. So Becky, let's hear about how you get those bookings from your cooking shows, girl.
Okay, so Megan is all about like unscripted, whatever. And y'all better get your pens ready, okay? Because I am a note girl. I am a note girl. My team knows this. Like I can talk a million miles an hour. I will make your head spin backwards and forwards, okay? So you're going to have writer's cramp in about 5 minutes, I promise. So I've been doing this business for 8 years, guys. Okay, so before virtual parties were even a thing, we had this little thing called cooking shows. Y'all ever heard of them? Yeah, we have. I like to make you guys laugh too. It's my thing. It's just my thing. So I've done over 1,000 cooking shows in 8 years. Hello, how you doing? I have a little bit of experience with cooking shows, just a tad. So I want to ask you guys a question. Let's start things off this way. Look, she's over there laughing at me, Miss Chastity. She's like, what is wrong with this girl, Megan?
No.
So how many of you guys have a full calendar for February or for March and April? Is everybody's calendars full? No? Nobody's is full? Okay, can I give you guys all a gift? You guys all like gifts? I love gifts. I love free gifts. I'm going to give you guys all 8 bookings for March. Can I do that? Would you guys take it? Okay, let's go back to reality for a second because that's not happening, right? I just told you a couple minutes ago you have to work for things that you really want. So we would all love that. We would all love to have this like little fairy wand waved and have full calendar and never have to work for it. But that's not a reality in this business. So I know for a split second you guys got all excited and you're like, oh my God, who is this girl? She's going to give me bookings. How is she doing this? She's magical. She's a unicorn. No, no, not happening. Poof, your bookings are gone. There are no 8 bookings there anymore. So I'm going to walk you through what I consider kind of my top 5 ways of getting bookings and keeping a full calendar really for cooking shows. So it all starts with host coaching. Okay. No matter what we do in this business, it always goes back to host coaching. And I know you're thinking to yourself right now, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, hold on. Didn't she just say she's going to teach me how to get bookings? And now she's talking about host coaching. What is wrong with her? Well, because if you have effective host coaching, then you're going to have the amount of guests that you need at every show in order to get the bookings that you need from every show. Does that make sense? There's like a formula there, right? Host coaching leads to people, people lead to orders, orders lead to bookings. Guys got that? All right, you're going to be tested later. You got to remember that. I'm just joking. No tests. So we as the consultant, we set the pace for host coaching, okay? So I know we all run into those customers and those hosts that they know best, right? They know exactly how their party's going to go, and they know what recipe they want you to do, and they know how to invite their friends, and they don't really need your help. Okay, how many of you guys would like to hand your paycheck over to your host? Would any of you guys like to do that? It's payday. It's payday. How many of you guys want to take that check and say, hey, Susie Q, you're having a party with me Sunday. Here, hold on to my paycheck for me. No. No. So when we're not host coaching and we're letting our host control the show, that's exactly what we're doing. We're handing our paycheck to them. They're controlling it and you're not. Ooh. How many of you guys feel you have a good system for host coaching?
I don't know that I have a good system, but I really started upping my game with host coaching, especially after Director Bound. And I feel like my last party, she started off really well. And then she just kind of tapered off. And I still followed up with her and, you know, like, hey, I'm really excited to earn, you know, some rewards for you, and like it really helps if you do this and if you tag, and like I was giving pointers along the way, and she was like, okay, great, awesome, you know, and then she would just, I don't know, the whole rest of the party, she just commented on stuff and didn't do anything that I asked her to. So
yeah. Absolutely. And you know, I always challenge myself, okay, when I have a cooking show or really any kind of show, to reflect. Okay, I'm a big believer in reflecting after every single show to see what I could have done better. Okay, how I could have made that show, you know, $50, you know, more in sales, or how I could have gotten that one more booking or that one more recruit lead. I'm a big believer in reflecting, and you have to, because if you show up to a cooking show and there's only 2 or 3 guests, that tells me something. That tells me that I did not do a really effective job of host coaching. Now, there's a difference between, love you, there's a difference between host coaching, right? Have a system, we follow it, doing A, doing B, doing C, doing D, and doing effective host coaching. They're completely different. The difference is that all of our hosts have a different way to communicate, and they have a different way to coach. Okay, so you really can't coach every single person the same exact way over and over again. It just doesn't, it's not really possible to do that. So that's where building that relationship is key with the host, because you learn who they are as a person, you learn their little quirks, you learn what the best way to communicate with them is. And really, guys, this applies with virtual parties and with cooking shows, okay? There's really not a lot of difference other than I'm in your face at one, which could be scary, and virtual, I'm behind a keyboard and I'm a ninja, okay? So there's 2 separate, you know, little genres there. So I challenge you guys to reflect after every single show, okay? Figure out what that I could have done better was, okay? Really reflect, and not saying that, you know, you're going to be a rock star on some shows. You're going to have done the best job possible that you could have done. But I really feel like sometimes when we have those bad results, there's something that we could have changed. And it's just a matter of finding what that something was and then making that small change. And then the next show, you don't repeat the same habit again. Okay. So host coaching equals people, and people equal bookings. You guys got that? Same thing for virtual parties, same thing for cooking shows. So your host is your secret weapon, okay? So that's my tip number 2. They are that little ace in your back pocket, okay? Because when we have shows where, let's say we just failed as a consultant, we didn't host coach like we should have, we get to the show and there's 2 or 3 people there and we're sulking in misery in our little aprons. We're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. Oh, my party's not going to qualify. How many of you guys throw the towel in at that moment? Anybody throw the towel in? Most of us do. Most of us give up. Most of us are okay with the results, right? We accept them. We're like, okay, we're going to move on because I have a show next weekend. I challenge you guys to not throw in the towel for a couple different reasons. Because if you can still at that point effectively host coach your host to get to a sales level which is comfortable for her. Go back to reminding her what she was after, what was on her wish list, okay? And if you're at $150 in sales and she really wanted that rock crock for half price, she's $50 away. We can coach her to get to 200, right? I can coach her to get to 300. You have to go back to why they hosted the party in the beginning. Now, if you are in that situation, the best thing that you can do is get bookings from that show for her, right? Would you guys agree? Because if she's only gotten to 200 in sales, right, you know she's not going to be able to get everything on the wish list. And so the best thing that you can do is say, oh my gosh, Susie Q, so I know that the party isn't what you expected it to be. I know that you're going to have things left on your wish list. So I have a solution to your problem, right? Let's work on finding 2 to 3 friends that can host a party, because then you're going to get a half price at every one of their shows when they qualify. Problem solved, right? Now you've got your host working. And who do you think those people are going to book a show for? Are they going to book a show for you or for her? They're going to book a show for her, right? So that's why I say your host is really your secret weapon in all situations. Again, both virtual and cooking, this applies. Let that host work. And guys, if you've done a really good job host coaching And sometimes we're just going to have shows, no matter how great of a job we've host coached, no matter how good the relationship is with our hosts, we're just going to have parties that flop, because Facebook is never a certain thing. We're going to have, shows, that look me, I had 10 inches of snow that fell yesterday, right? So it would very easily have happened that I would have a cancellation because, life happens. So it's just a matter of persevering through the bad times and figuring out a strategy that is going to push you forward instead of backward. And I'm telling you, it starts with your mental game first. It has to start here. You have to be willing to say, okay, so what's my plan B? Have a plan B. Always have a plan B. Every time, have a plan B. So is it easier? How many of you, I got a really good question for you. How many of you guys like to make phone calls? Jackie, you're crazy. Oh, no, Sarah, I like the whole eyebrow lift all the way up to the forehead. Yes, no. I don't like phone calls. You guys know that, although I've been talking nonstop all week long. Nobody likes phone calls, right? How many of you guys would prefer to never have to pick up a phone again and ask for bookings? Hello? 3/4 of us would, right? So where do you think we should get our bookings at? Should we get our bookings at our shows?
Heck yeah.
Or should we say, oh, I'm okay if this party doesn't have any bookings. I'll message a couple people and I'll get bookings. Which way would you prefer? Would you prefer to get bookings from every single show? I know I would. So how do we keep ourselves out of this vicious cycle? Because that's exactly what it is. It's a vicious cycle. So how many bookings should you get from every single show? Who knows? How many should you go for?
2. 1 to replace the one that you have, and then another one to add to your.
Okay. So my people, raise your hand if you know Becky is a numbers girl. Everything is about numbers, right? Because numbers are the one thing that will not lie to us, right? They will not lie to us. So let's take a little look at how your bookings can affect your business. Let me move this over a little. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So again, this goes back to a mental thing that you are not through until you book 2, okay? 2 shows from every single show, no matter what. Because I want you guys to look at the left scenario where we're only booking 1 show from a party, okay? So month 1, we originally scheduled 6 shows. We had 6 dated. 2 canceled because remember, what did I say a couple minutes ago? Life happens, right? You're going to have cancellations. That leaves you with 4 shows. You hold your 4 shows. You only get 1 booking from every single one of those shows. So now you only have 4 shows that going into month 2. Month 2 comes along. You have those 4 shows that were dated. You lose 2 because, again, life happens. You're going to have cancellations. Now you're only holding 2 shows. Your 2 shows hold. You get 1 booking. You have 2 shows on your calendar going into month 3. Your 2 shows dated. Well, guess what? Because life happens, and it happens in 3s. 2 cancel. You have 0 bookings. And guess what? Who's making phone calls? Yeah, wah, wah. Nobody wants to do that. Now, let's explore what happens when you get 2 bookings from every single show. Same scenario. Month 1, you have 6 shows dated. You have 2 cancel because life happens. This sounds like a vicious cycle, doesn't it? 4 shows hold. You get 2 bookings from every show, and now you have 8 shows. Let's go into month 2. 8 shows dated, 2 shows cancel. You're left with 6 shows that hold. You get 2 bookings. Now you have 12 shows. So you guys see the difference. You have 4 more shows from month 1 to month 2 going into month 3. So month 3 is here. We have 12 shows. We have 2 cancel, which leaves us with 10 shows that we're holding. We get 2 bookings, which gives us 20 shows going into month 4. Wait a minute. Hold on. Back the train up. Because over here, we were out of business in month 4. Now, in month 4, in the 2-show scenario, you guys see this? Look at these numbers, because again, they don't lie. 20 shows, 2 cancel, which leaves you with 18 shows. You get 2 bookings from every show, and now you're crazy out of your mind, ready to lose it and drinking wine at 9 o'clock at night because you have 36 shows. Numbers do not lie, guys. They don't lie. So who wants to be on the phone and who doesn't want to be on the phone? Because the choice is really up to you and where you're going to settle with your business, okay? It's all really up to you and how hard you're going to push yourself. It's really up to you to decide how close of a relationship you're going to have with your host to really make every show the best show possible and get 2 bookings from every single show at your show, not after the show. So let's talk about selling products for a minute, because this really is a way, both, again, cooking show and virtual, that we get bookings, okay? So there's a difference between selling the benefit of a product and the feature of a product. You guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys would buy the quick cooker if I told you, oh my gosh, you're going to love the quick cooker because it's got a double-walled panel on the outside of it, and it's got 16 functions, and yeah, it's electric. Would you buy it? I know. Let me fall asleep while this person's talking. How many of you guys would buy the quick cooker if I said, let's see, how many of you guys have, forgot to take dinner out, every night like I do? I fail in the kitchen. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I still fail. Forgot to take something out for dinner, and you're running through a McDonald's drive-through line, spend $50, come back home. Or would you prefer the option where you can have dinner on the table in 20 minutes, save your $50, spend about $6 for a family of 6, and use frozen meat? Which would you prefer? Okay, that's selling a benefit, right? People buy benefits. They don't buy features. So when you guys talk about products, speak to the mom, speak to the solution, right? Speak to the problem that you're trying to solve for someone. Not the, oh, well, it's dishwasher safe and it can go in the oven up to 450 degrees. I don't care about that. If I'm spending my money on something, I want that product literally to come up in my kitchen and cook dinner for me or be close to it. And if you're telling me that I can take a deep cover baker, throw 3 chicken breasts, peppers, onions, and some jalapenos in there, pop it in the microwave in 12 minutes, and I have dinner, fajita's ready to go, that solves the problem. Solve the problems for your customers, and those bookings will come. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys have ever heard, oh my gosh, Pampered Chef is so expensive? Anybody ever heard that? Do you guys realize that 78% of our catalog is under $30? Do you guys know that? Yeah, 78%. Okay, so we have a 22% gap left there, right? Which is what? The cookware and the knives and some of the stoneware pieces are more expensive. Why do you think Pampered Chef puts products like that in our catalogs?
So the host for free.
Because that's what people book for, right? People book shows for those items that are going to solve a problem in their kitchen. Most people, how many of you guys could afford to pay $240 for a quick cooker out of pocket right now if I asked you? Yeah, probably not, right? Probably not. And so why do we expect our customers to be any different? So they may not buy it outright, guys, but they will book a show for it if you sell them the benefits and why they need to have that product in their kitchens. Okay? Pampered Chef is very strategic in the pricing in our catalog. So, I hear all the time consultants like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. My customers are never going to buy it. Well, no. And honestly, I don't want them to buy it. I want them to host a party for it. Okay? So that goes back when you're in cooking show land to selecting recipes that speak to those problems, that speak to those products. So would you ever do a show built around a brownie pan?
Heck no.
No, because most people can afford $25 out of their pocket to buy a brownie pan, right? You're not going to get bookings from a brownie pan, but you are going to get bookings from using a rock crock to make brownies in, right? When I show them that I can make some caramel peanut butter brownies in the microwave in 8 minutes and blow their minds when they eat that first bite of them, they're like, oh my God, she really just made brownies in the microwave in 8 minutes? Jackie, you remember that night? Yeah, girl. Mm-hmm.
Not only that, sorry, I just have a little side note.
Fine, go for it.
Okay, so if any of you guys are in the Coffee Talk group, I want you, this is just a side note, this is not your homework, but if anybody really wants an awesome training about how to convey the quality of an item and why customers want to own it, check out the Michael Yoakley Coffee Talk recording about how to sell high-priced items. I think it's How to Sell Cookware is actually the title of it. But it's in the albums on the Coffee Talk group. But basically in that, he talks about, okay, so yes, the quick cooker's $240 out of pocket. How many evenings out for your family of 5 or 6 to eat at a restaurant? How many evenings does it take to total $240? Maybe you eat out twice in a month and that totals $240. How many times can that quick cooker make you dinner in a month for $240, right? So those are the things that you need to start thinking about too. You need to think about how you can convey the quality of the item that they want to own. Whether or not they say, okay, you know what, when you talk to me that way about it, maybe I can afford $240. I just won't take my family out to eat as many times in March, right? So let them make that decision. But again, just like Becky said, most of the people at your parties are not going to be able to afford to just write a check for the $240, right? So, but still with you talking about that line of thinking that, hey, let's think about how many dinners out is in that $240 product. They're going to start thinking about, you know what, it would really make sense for me to have this in my kitchen. Okay, sorry, Becky, go ahead.
You're fine. So let's ask you guys this. So how many of you guys believe, okay, because everything we do comes back to belief. How many of you guys believe that the quick cooker is valuable enough to sell for $240? Okay, we know it, right? And conveying it to our customers is different. Okay, so I just found out a couple weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, that I'm like in the top 10 of selling the quick cooker since September. Okay, I just hit the 70 mark
Whoop, whoop.
of quick cookers sold. And 32 of those were full price. So people will buy it, okay? People will buy it, I promise you, when you sell it, when you sell the benefits and why they need it. So actually, I had to do a video for my national team. What was that?
I don't know.
So for my national had me make a training video of my words and how I sell it at my shows. And I'll post that for you guys later, okay? So you guys can watch it. It's definitely worth watching. You know, if you're in the cooking show world, how many of you guys would love to sell a quick cooker? Hello, how you doing? It's been a game changer for me. I mean, 70 of them. What does that equate to sales-wise? Think about it. That's a numbers thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my last tip, because we're almost done, is to keep your shows simple. Okay, keep them simple. Focus around the benefits, and same goes for your virtual parties. Keep them simple, right? They don't need to be complicated. They don't need to be all the bells and whistles, because really, if you're offering solutions to your customers, that's going to be the most amazing benefit that you can give them, point blank, okay? And if you're selling the benefits at the party, whether it's cooking show or virtual, they're going to book shows with you, period, okay? So does anyone have any questions at all? Because we have a few minutes that we can do questions, and then we're going to give you your homework. Did you guys all learn something tonight? A little something? Was it worth staying on for an hour? Hopefully. I hope so. All right. Okay, so nobody has questions. Going once. Going twice.
Becky, I have a question.
All right, go for it.
So, okay, you know, I've been doing my launch party or whatnot, and how I keep doing my post or whatnot. I have my first virtual party tomorrow. Do I do the post the way I've been doing them in my launch party, or do I have my host do the post the way I've been doing with my launch party? I do them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need to, I'll message you afterward, Faith,
Okay.
and we'll chat about that.
Okay.
I didn't realize you had a party starting tomorrow.
Yeah, girl.
Woo! I love it. Faith literally just signed up, what, a week and a half ago?
All right.
I know.
Something like that, yeah.
The Wolfpack is rocking, sister. These guys want it, which I love it.
Awesome, you guys.
Okay, so let's talk homework. Megan, do you want to go over homework? I have the slide pulled up.
Oh, sure. Okay, so I mentioned the Michael Yoakley coffee talk, but actually your homework, your official homework, you can just do the Michael Yoakley recording on the side if you'd like. But your homework is actually a goal setting recording, okay? So part of what we want you to start thinking about is, you know, what are your goals with your business? Are you comfortable with setting some goals, and are they big enough, okay? Are they going to be something that's going to challenge you, or are they just really safe goals? And then once you have decided on some goals, how do you break them down to manageable chunks so that you know exactly what you need to achieve each week, each month, and so forth, okay? So for those of you who are listening to the recording, we would like you to, once you have finished watching or listening, to go on to the 6 Weeks to Success group, post one takeaway that you've heard from the recording. For those of you who are here with us live, that does not apply to you. Okay, so this is where all of you who are live come in. So for everyone, whether recording or live, listen to the Coffee Talk training pictured below with April Schillig. And then we want you to share one top takeaway from that recording. The Coffee Talk calls are really quick, you guys. They're only like 15, 20 minutes. So this is definitely doable homework for you. And then if you are not familiar with it yet, you will be very soon. You will have a 15 two-way contact tracker to complete. So whether you want to do a few contacts a day, whether you want to just knock all 15 out in one shot, but here's the key thing, you guys. Two-way contacts mean you don't send out 15 messages and then just pray that somebody messages you back. 15 means 15 people have responded to you and you have had a two-way conversation with them. So it might take you 30 messages sent in order to get 15 to respond. It might mean you have to send 45 messages or make 10 or 12 phone calls in there. You can do phone calls, you can do Facebook messaging, you can do text messaging, you can even send an email if that's somebody's preferred method of contact. But you have to get responses from 15 people and track it.
So Megan, I just want to jump in here a second because, you know, we're doing this booking blitz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Track those contacts, you guys.
Exactly.
When you're getting two-way contacts, I mean, it's a win-win. So if you're participating in this booking blitz for the next, you know, until Sunday night, I mean, hello, track them. I mean, I don't even care. You know, if you're tracking them, you know, you can use the tracker that we're going to provide to you, or we're going to post on the group for you. And honestly, even if you just want to use a darn notebook, okay, whatever your system is going to be works for us.
Right.
We just want to see names and results. That's what we want to see. Okay.
And really, this isn't necessarily about the accountability for us, like for you sharing it with us. It's about you being aware of how many contacts it really truly takes for you to make in order to get the results that you're after. Okay. We want you to be really aware of that instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I have talked to everybody under the sun, Becky, and I cannot get anybody to book a party. And then Becky asks me, okay, Megan, well, who did you talk to? Well, I talked to Pam and I talked to Nadine and I talked to Susie. And Becky says, Megan, that's 3 people. And then I feel foolish, right? Because I did not talk to everyone. I talked to 3 people. So it's very important that you start to be aware of how many you are actually reaching out to. Okay? Make sense to everybody? All right. And then the last one there is to just complete your weekly check-in with your director.
Pretty simple. So who did Director Bound with us? Who's still on here that did Director Bound? Jackie and Mike. Is that a lot simpler than doing your Director Bound homework?
Oh, yes. It's not an hour plus thing.
Yes. So they're quick and easy recordings for you guys to listen to. It's not an hour and a half of your time listening to it. It's not all of these like steps and stages and a Google form for this and a Google form for that. It's simple, okay? It's kind of going on the trust system here a little bit. We're trusting that you guys are doing your homework. because we're all adults, right? And if truly you guys want results from your business, then you're going to do what it takes to get those results from your business. Would you guys all agree? So the way that you're going to move forward in this business, guys, is by reaching out to people. I promise you in 8 years, I've never had people like literally knocking on my door wanting to host parties for me. I've worked for every single booking in some way, shape, or form. They don't just drop in your lap. Now, occasionally you'll get a booking here and there that somebody's like, hey, it's time for me to have a show. And then you're like, oh, praise Jesus. I love when someone responds, comes to me wanting to book a show. But
Right.
reality is that that's not really how it works. Okay, so
You can't base a business on that kind of luck.
yes. I'll take it back and then we'll end on the fact that, if you've ever managed a store, if you're the manager of the store, you walk into that building every single day, right? You turn your key, you flip the lights on, right? And then off to work you go. Well, ours is we have to open the key to our business every single day and reach out to our customers. That is our light switch. Our customers are our light switch. They are what keep our business in business. And I don't know about you guys, but I know some of you guys, at least from my team, have been in a place with your businesses that you don't want to be. And if you follow the steps that me and Megan have outlined for the next 6 weeks, at the end of 6 weeks, you're not gonna be. But it ultimately comes down to you. Okay? Well, thank you guys so much.
Woohoo, we
Hello,
won.
how you doing? Homework will be posted for you guys on the group. Watch the group. Check in every single day, guys, because we, in between our trainings, have little trainings every single day that you guys are going to be seeing in the group, okay? And really, the trainings that we're going to do in the group are kind of leading us into next week's training. So we're excited. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for the next step of your business?
All right.
Awesome.
Woohoo.
Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you soon.
Good night, guys. Thanks for joining
Good
us.
night.